Hi, my name is Meg, and you're watching You Can Ask That. Here's our panel talking all about studying at school and university studies. So the first question is, will my diabetes affect my year 12 exams?
Maybe.
Maybe, but that's why there is special consideration in place. Please do not apply for special consideration. That's what I did. So I was like, I'll be fine. I was not. So it's there to help you. Extra time. You can bring a hypo food in.
Yeah.
So it may, but also there are heaps of considerations there to help you. As is in the video, communication. Like if you have a SAC the next day and you were up all night with a really high blood sugar, or there was some diabetes stuff going on, have your family call your teacher, email through, let them know, because they would be more than happy to sort of work that around you.
I think diabetes, it can be a pretty unfair diagnosis, and whatever things that you can do to make a situation more fair for you, for the daily struggles that you put up with living with diabetes, I think take them. I've taken all of the special consideration things throughout university, throughout my university degrees, and I've always thought to myself, thank God that I did that, because the events that I did have a hypo, it meant that I didn't fail the exam.
Yeah, because no one else has to deal with that. No one else has to deal with a hypo in the middle, or, I used to be really high before a language oral exam.
Yeah.
No one else has to deal with that stuff. So yeah, take it and use it.
Yeah, I think take every opportunity that someone throws your way, and it's not necessarily an advantage. It's
just leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
Yeah, just, for sure.
Yeah. Be a yes person.
Yeah.
Just yes.
Yeah, cool. And I guess that kind of leads us into a really good question that's come through next around support at university. So what support can I get for my diabetes at uni? What support did you guys get?
There is a different, there's support at every single uni. It will differ university by university, but it's up to you. Uni is not like high school where the teachers sort of take more of a role. It's up to you to let the university know. It's really easy and accessible to find. If you have any questions, you go to the student centre. They can help you out. You may have to provide some documentation from a doctor, an endocrinologist, but once that's set up, it's usually set up for essentially the rest of your degree.
Yeah, I'm studying at the moment, and even prior studies to what I'm doing now, there was a doctor on campus. There is at least a nurse on campus. The universities have a responsibility to look after the people on campus. So odds are there's going to be at least someone who's got a first aid accreditation or something that can help you. The support's there, and the bigger the university, the more likely you are to have a doctor.
And it helps with essays and just assignments and stuff as well. I know I had a really bad run with some high blood sugars, and just emailed in, and they're like, that's fine. Yeah, take a couple more days. You're allowed to do that. That's okay. But yeah, you just have to go through officially, and it's on you. It's not on anyone else to do that.
Yeah, cool. And I know from when I was at uni, the key is just communicating with your tutors and your lecturers and letting them know what's up, even if it's not diabetes related and it's something else. Yeah. So the next question someone's written in is, some days I really don't feel well enough to study, but I don't want to fall behind in my class. How can I catch up and still look after myself?
Like Meg said, communicate. Just let your teacher know. There are students in my classes that don't have diabetes, but they have other chronic conditions, and they just let me know. I had a really bad night last night. This is going on. The teachers are there to help you, and the school staff are there to help you. You just need to tell people what's going on. That's probably my best advice. How about you two?
No one wants to see you fail.
No.
So they're going to give you support, and they're going to try to bring you to the table. Everyone needs to do well.
And maybe that not feeling like studying, it could be a physical thing with your diabetes, but it also could be like a burnout or a mental health thing. So feel free to sort of chat with your family or chat with someone close to you about maybe tackling that as well. Because I find often for me, if my sugars are high, then I feel bad. And then it's like this cycle of constant. Yeah. So it also, I would advise, if you're feeling a bit like that as well, thinking about those supports that you can reach out to.
Yeah. I find that when I've had high sugar levels and like a run, like, you know, Georgie has said, I find that my concentration really lags behind because like I'm fatigued and I'm thirsty and I'm tired and all these things, and that's not an optimal zone for you to be learning in. The other thing that I would suggest when you start having those conversations, you know, it might be that, hey, I might need an extension for this task. Prior to having those conversations, actually explain to maybe your tutors or your teachers that you don't need a medical certificate every single time. If you need a
Loui had a hypo at 3 a.m. Signed
exactly.
Dr. Georgie.
And it might just be that your doctor writes a letter saying, yes, Louisa does have type 1 diabetes. And it might be that, you know, throughout the daily management, there might be, you know, some mismanagement or things just happen.
It's a really great idea to have a sit down with your homeroom teacher and a coordinator if you're still at high school, and just basically chatting, letting them know. They don't need to know the ins and outs, but just that it can be really up and down. Sometimes things will happen.
Yeah, cool. That kind of leads us in really well to the next question as well. So this person's written in and said, my teachers don't really understand diabetes and I don't want them to think I'm being lazy or always asking for breaks. What can I do?
I think the teacher should answer.
I feel like I'm talking a lot in this one. Okay, so first things, you're not lazy. Think about it. So a teacher's probably got about 200 to 300 to 400 students. Your teacher doesn't have to understand every little bit about diabetes, but what they want to understand and need to understand is how it affects you in the classroom. So again, it just comes back to communication. If you're having one of those really bad days where you just like your sugar's high, you can't concentrate, you're peeing all the time, or you had like 3 hypos last night and you're exhausted, just let the teacher know. Be like, hey, I had 3 hypos last night. I'm really tired. I'm not going to be myself today. That is the biggest thing that I can say. Whatever students I have, diabetic or not, like you just let them know. You're not being lazy. They might maybe look at the impression if you don't tell them. So you need to tell them, and then
And what if you don't get along with that doctor, that
teacher? Tell a homeroom teacher. If you don't get over with a homeroom teacher, tell a teacher that you trust and like at your school, because we talk and it goes around. It will be communicated to the proper people. Doesn't matter, we don't mind who you tell as long as you tell someone. Good question. Any other input?
No, I think you really communication is literally the most important thing. Also, I don't know, I went to school a very long time ago, but when I had issues around this, my diabetes educator came and spoke to the staff and some of the students at the school that I was at.
That's still a thing.
And they then understood a little bit more about what was going on for me, which was really helpful.
I also had a really lovely and unique relationship with my school nurse, I found. And, you know, whenever I had low blood sugar levels, it was the policy at that time that I would go to the nurse's bay. Whilst I kind of came up from that, and it was probably a safe situation to be in, but it also kind of gave someone at the school like a visual to actually see how I'm affected when I'm low, and that kind of actually helped out for other teachers and academic staff to help me out later.
Yeah, for sure.
We've had another question come through just while you guys are talking. And this person says, sometimes I really don't feel like injecting or checking at school. Do you have any tips to feel motivated and not embarrassed?
That's a huge hurdle. And it's just so much going on that contributes to that.
With you guys, because I got it later. So I was kind of like, whatever. So what did you guys do?
I never hit it, but I got it really early. So I was in grade 2 when I got diagnosed. And I don't know. I used to go to the bathroom to do my needles only because it felt, at least there, I could concentrate on making sure I was giving correct dosages. But
I found kids I've worked with who have type 1 have liked to, they'd either come into our staff room really quickly, because it's not a shameful thing, but I can understand that it would feel embarrassing and like you're different, and like it's not, but I can understand how it feels like that. Sometimes it's just talking to the people, hey, can I pop into this classroom? I had a student that would leave like 2 minutes early just so she could inject by the lockers before everyone else came around. So it's really sort of what works for you. Also, I think a group of friends was really good. Mine were awesome.
I think what I think is a upsetting to me about that question is the reason that you feel like you need to hide it. And I think that might be some other things that you might need to tap into, whether that be, you know, some mental health chats, or maybe it's that your friendship group isn't supportive of you. Maybe it's that you don't feel like you have a safe environment at school, and all of those reasons behind your decision making of wanting to hide it away should be addressed, because if you kind of keep up that same mentality as you're growing older, it's going to be harder to break out from.
Yeah, for sure. It's exhausting as well.
Yeah, and that sucks. I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you want to hear more from Georgie, Loui and Kyle, check out the Diabetes Victoria YouTube channel.